you know what? I'm just like go on, play, get some viewers in there, pump some people up,
Yeah.
and plus it helps me, it helps them.
Thank you.
Love going on, so it's just like spur of the moment thing.
Yeah, no, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Oh yeah, and just a little FYI. Right now the chat is emotes only, and the reason I did that is just primarily because with podcasts, I think it's an important lesson in listening, right? Like I think a lot of people, you know, I feel like a lot of people have a hard time listening sometimes. They got kind of get like all these ideas, and then before you can execute your idea, like people just get really overwhelmed and they want to like bombard. So I put the chat to emotes only, and that's just kind of like so people could show that they're here, but we could like continue with the conversation, especially since if you're on Twitch, then yeah, you could see this all visually. But I do have a lot of listeners that are listening audibly only, like podcast wise.
Word.
All right,
Sounds good.
all right.
What'd you say again? I wasn't listening.
No way.
I'm just playing.
Hey. By the way, you're in that little. I don't know if you see the layout, but you're in that little layout. That's a little tribute to the homies that showed some love.
Oh, is that me down there or
It
what?
will be like it's just I
Oh,
think.
okay. Oh, it's a slideshow between all the people that DJ'd over
Yeah,
there.
man. That's a little
Oh yeah.
little
Okay.
homage to the homies. Yeah, I appreciate everybody that helps me out for sure. Um,
Live streaming before we had to.
yeah, pretty much. Um, all right, man. So I know that you're a busy dude, so let's get right to it. Um, first of all, right now, like currently, how are you doing? How's everything with you?
I mean, I'm great. I can't complain considering the situations. Yes, I would love to be out DJing, but honestly, I made the best of it. It's helped me like in so many positive ways. I've grown from it, and I just taken all the positives from it. Yeah, I go through it like once a month. I get frustrated and stuff. But, I mean, I think everyone does, but I mean, I can't complain. I'm healthy. Um, I'm having fun. I still get to do what I love.
There you
Yeah, it's
go.
not in person, but I feel so connected to a lot of these people. I've grown relationships with them, and I've done a lot of other things too
Right.
that aside from DJ.
Yeah, man. That's really good to hear. I know that. Um, I mean, there's just so many like alleyways that I'm thinking that we're gonna go down, but I know for sure that like you know, there's a lot of people that are given the same situation, um, or I should say everybody's given this lockdown situation, and some people have like made the most of it, some people haven't, and then some people kind of just like are just maintaining. And I totally understand like kind of any side of it, because you don't know what someone's going through, and this it's a hard time. It's an unprecedented time for many of us.
Yeah, it's very tough mentally for a lot of people, so I get it.
Yeah, definitely. Um, so like I said, I definitely wanted to get right to it. And what did you think of like the initial the initial announcement of all this stuff like that was going on? Like what, like when did you start really thinking about this? Oh, I mean, and I don't mean so much Twitch yet. I mean more like the pandemic. Like when did you start to kind of like get some red flags in your head? Like, oh shit, like this isn't looking good.
March 15th,
Oh, the day, like, did they shut it down or what?
the day they shut it down, I'm like, oh, what do we do?
You said, oh
It might always, I was like, might I have to start throwing underground parties? And might I have to start throwing raves? What are we to do? How am I supposed to get, you know what I mean? It's like, I got to get paid. I mean,
yeah,
it's my full-time job.
yeah,
So it's like, you took everything from me, like I was doing gigs 3 to 4 times a week,
yeah,
that's my life.
yeah.
So it's like, well, okay, well, what am I to do now?
That
And
March mark was the oh shit moment.
yeah, it's like, because we didn't know anything about like
uh,
any benefits or anything like that. It was just like, oh, you're not going to work, you're not getting paid. Okay, cool. I mean, I've always had side hustles,
right.
and thankfully, I've saved up and
Yeah.
a lot of stuff. But what hurt me was I had a trip planned to go to Tampa,
Mm,
um, the last weekend of March, first week of April.
right.
So I invested a lot of money into that.
Mm,
And we were just sitting and waiting, like, are we going to be able to go do this? We were going to go to WrestleMania. And it's like, well, I got all this money sitting over here. How am I get my refunds? What's going on? It was just
Mm,
question marks left and right,
right.
like just trying to see where all my money is and gather up all that to make sure, because I was preparing for the worst.
Right. Right. Yeah, man. I know. It's like it's so when you kind of look back at it right now, especially like just like thinking about how it's all how it unfolded so slowly, and yet here we are in December. The years fucking flew the fuck by. You know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And all right, cool. So I mean, I was like I said, I got so many things that I want to like get out, but like we'll take
Yeah,
it
for sure.
one step at a time for sure.
Yeah, I got time.
Yeah. So okay, so like I said, March, happened. They shut us down. So like, how quick were you to get on on Twitch, or like what was your initial thoughts? Like I know you like you said the first when they shut down, you're like, oh shit, I gotta get paid, blah blah. Like I got all these things going on. Then what were some things that like started to like you started to kind of put in action, or maybe or what raised awareness about Twitch? You could go down any of those.
Well, at first it was IG.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
and thankfully I'm already prepared for all the live streaming because we've done it before.
right,
Like I've been live streaming for years now.
right.
Like back from when there was Ustream to live stream, then there was other
From the
applications.
Q
So
stream, all the
yeah,
streams.
exactly. So and we've done the IG live stream before with the good quality. So I had the adapters, everything, good thing. I'm thankful for that. I knew how to do that.
Yeah,
So I wasn't, like a lot of people were DJing and just from the sound of their speakers and
yeah,
I'm I cannot stand bad sound. So
yeah,
that's cool. Like if that's your only avenue, I'm not knocking it.
yeah,
But for me, I couldn't do that,
yeah,
and thankfully I had the equipment to do it. And the first week I just hopped on IG because every third and fifth Saturday, as you know,
yeah.
I have Control Saturdays at Green Room,
Right.
and I haven't missed a gig in 6 years. I've been doing it there on every third Saturday. I'm like, I'm not gonna let this pandemic, stop Control. So I was like, yo, we doing Control online, IG live,
Yeah.
and we had about like 30 to 40 people the first night, which was like pretty cool,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
because a lot of people that would go out in person, they just signed in on IG, and then from there, just started doing it more.
Yeah.
And then eventually, like I knew about Twitch, and I think I hopped on in May doing the simulcast with Twitch and IG at the same time. But
Right.
there's a lot of tweaking. Like there's a lot to learn. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was just like thrown at me. Like my camera, I'm using my DSLR, and it's like it's stuttering because I got my old ass computer,
Yeah.
and then I got my DJ computer. It's wires everywhere, and I don't even know how it works. I didn't even know what an emo
I
was.
want to say
All
like I
that
feel
stuff.
like I've known you for a couple years now too, and I would you say that you're like techie, or would you say that you're in that?
Yeah, to a certain extent. Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, I guess so. Yeah,
Yeah.
because
So even
I learned it all.
so I mean even that though, like that's kind of like a little eye opener for a lot of people, because like even someone like yourself who consider yourself kind of techie, it still was a lot to learn, you know. Eh,
Oh yeah, it was there was a lot of frustrating days of like, oh fuck this shit, like what's going on? Like just getting frustrated, like why isn't my camera working? Like, because I'm using my DSLR and it's different than, using the a webcam because
yeah,
I got capture cards, I got to have it on the right settings. I didn't know how to do that.
yeah.
It's like I'm just learning how to take pictures of myself for
Yo, I got
now I'm trying to learn video.
I'm on the iPhone setup right now, and I mean I think I look kind of cool. Hey, dude, like literally right before I was freaking out because you know how like you were probably like last 5 minutes of your set. You're like, hey, Wally, are you ready? If you're ready, you should start it up now because it takes a little moment for like the notification to go out. And I shit you not, bro. Like everything's the same. I use the same computer that I use for my regular streams on my regular channel, and for whatever reason, the computer was saying like check your settings. It was saying check your settings, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like everything's normal. I'm 5 minutes before showtime. Like why isn't this working? And sure
It
enough, like,
happens all the time.
dude, I clicked it like a couple more times, restart my computer. For whatever reason, it went through, and I was like, oh, thank you.
On Sunday, 2 hours in my stream, everything going perfect. All of a sudden, people are like, "The sound's messed up. It's stuttering," and I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
Everything's fine on Serato. Everything's showing fine on OBS. And then I, click on the stream, and I'm like, "Damn, it's stuttering." Turn the music off. Check the mic. My mic's stuttering. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, we're 2 hours in. I'm just gonna raid someone. I got to get out of this.
Oh, I was at that one. I was at that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was at that one.
I still don't know what was wrong. I think it was like a USB that was like got loose or something.
Mm.
Because I got a bunch of wires just going everywhere.
You're just
So
flailing everywhere.
yeah, who knows? It happens every time. It seems like something. It's always something with technology.
Yeah, dude. I know it's like you said, the curveball's been a learning one for sure, man. I mean, even same thing. I consider myself in the tech realm, and like this thing was like it was a lot, and especially like a lot when all this other stuff is going on. The pandemic stuff is going on. You're worried about your financial situation, like you got vacations getting canceled, like just you got. I mean, not to mention, I mean, like I said, we got so many things I want to talk about, but even like talking to my homies that are primarily like mobile DJ gigs, and imagine having every weekend booked out with weddings and stuff, and then just having that whole year just like wiped out with cancellations, and then you gotta redo it with some people next year, or some people want to they want to do
Refunds.
they want refunds. Yeah, exactly. I had my first like refund call. I mean, thankfully I had my first refund call today, out of like the gigs that I had. I mean, and one out of like 10 gigs, I could live with that. you know
Yeah, and that
Fortunately.
hurts because a lot of DJs, you know, they're they take that money and they might spend it on something else, so they don't have it, or they might only have a certain amount, and then they got to do that big refund, not expecting it. It's just a tough
Yeah.
situation.
Yo, definitely. And like I said, especially the guys that have it every weekend where they're all booked out. And I mean, honestly, in like any other circumstances, like it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But the fact that the whole like damn world is shutting down, like it's a pretty big fucking deal.
Yeah,
So I mean, it hopefully it's a life lesson too. To at least like put some to stash something away, rather than just fucking, hey, I got this deposit, like let's make it rain. And I'm not gonna lie, like I definitely had operated like that a few times. Like, yo,
yeah,
I
for
got this
sure.
fat deposit. What's good?
Yeah, everybody has.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, guilty. I
Yeah,
definitely got
because
some shoes.
when would you think that there would never be another DJ gig? You know what I mean? When they would just go away, it's like everyone has a birthday. There's bars. Everyone has a wedding. Everyone has some kind of party, baby shower, whatever it is. Everyone has one.
Yeah,
So you would never think that DJing would be like something that was gone,
right.
just straight gone.
Yeah, I know. I mean, and, which is why it's really hard for a lot of people right now. So I wanted to go. Let's get back onto it. With the you know, with the live stream thing. So you're saying that you were familiar with it because of Instagram and whatnot. And then what was like the big motivation, or like what pushed you to go towards Twitch?
The frustration of getting kicked off left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just doing that, and like I said, I was doing Twitch and IG for a while, but I wasn't really pumping the Twitch.
Right.
There would be like 4 or 5 people in there. Like IG was my main thing, and I was thinking like, well, you know how hard it is to get someone to go click on something else and then go sign up for another app.
Right.
So I was like, kind of like, nah, I'm cool on Twitch. Like I'm not to pump it like that because no one's really follow. I was just thinking negative, and then all of a sudden I was like, you know what? Let me try. And then slowly they started following over, and then like it also helped with other DJs being on there too, and then people that were on Twitch that like to listen. It's easy for them to find you.
Right.
Just like like today, like I'll gain a bunch of followers just every stream.
Right.
People will find you.
Right. Right, man. Yeah, I mean, and like I feel like I was quick to get on it, but not to be consistent with it. So I think that that's definitely been a part on my bad pretty much. And speaking of the whole, that's what I was gonna say. I remember I had a thought, but I was trying to think of what it was, and that's it. Also touches base with the whole like the importance of having good audio. Like I held off for a long time before going on Instagram Live because of that same factor. Like I knew that the audio wasn't gonna be up to par, and like you said, I don't knock anybody if they don't have like what it needs as far as like to have high quality audio, or if they just put their phone by their speaker, whatever, like that's them. But for me, I know like my primary brand ambassador. I'm my primary brand ambassador, so I definitely I want to put my best foot forward, and I want to show out, and I want people to like I put a lot of time and effort into like things like scratching and stuff like that, and I want it to be all. I want you to be able to hear it. I don't want you to see me doing this, and then it's like a offbeat movie or something where like I'm doing this and you don't hear nothing. You're like, what's he doing right there? So I'm I just try to make sure that everything looks up to standard before I like put it out there, and kind of like the same thing with this thing. Like um, I love doing this podcast, but I wasn't gonna start it if it looked like shit.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think right now, like where it is, like this is a cool little template. I think it looks cool. Maybe like I can expand later. Add a
No, it looks clean. Looks like we're in like HD, clean little setup.
yeah. Then that's like I said, that's what I want. And then even if someone stumbles upon this, like they'll see that, and they'll see that like, oh, this looks legit. But cool. So let's get back to it. And then so what was like some of those initial like growing pains of Twitch?
Uh, I had my old computer, so I had two MacBooks. One was like a 2014 MacBook Pro, and the other one was like '09, 2010. So I already knew like I needed to use my other computer, so I was using my old ass one. And when I was doing Twitch back in I think like May or early June, while I was still doing IG, it kept stuttering and stuttering. Like it was the processor was too slow.
Mm,
So I just had a one night where I was like, you know what? Screw this. Went on Apple. I'm like, I'm ordering me a new computer. And I beefed it up, customized it. Took about 2 weeks to get here. And then everything ran a lot smoother. I was able to do music videos because I was trying to do music videos on IG. Because I learned how to do, you could do backgrounds and do different stuff and flip it on IG with Restream and do that kind of stuff. But everything was the processor was way too slow, and I had to run music videos off that same computer.
mm-hmm,
So like today, I'm running it off. When I do music videos, I run it off my new 2020 MacBook Pro.
mm-hmm.
But when I usually just like stream, like say on Sundays, I use my 2013 MacBook Pro, and then I use my brand new computer to run OBS on.
Mm,
So it's not too much going
right.
on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, it was just like that type of stuff and figuring out, oh, the big one, Ethernet. I was
Mm,
running off of Wi-Fi because my modem is plugged up upstairs. My
yeah.
setup is downstairs,
Right.
and then my homeboy Unique, DJ Unique, hit me up. He's oh, yo, you having some issues? I'm like, yeah, and he ran me through. He's like, yo, you got to plug in your Ethernet.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So I went and ordered a 100-foot Ethernet. So
Yeah. Same, bro. I have it right here too.
yeah, and once I plug that in, like for the most part, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, man.
And I had to beef up my internet. I guess I didn't have the fastest, so it's like, oh, beef up everything. I invested a lot into
What's
this.
up, bro? You were still on fucking dial up or what?
No, it was on like the middle version of Spectrum.
uh, well, I mean, now you're high living, bro. You got that FiOS
Yeah.
or what?
No, we don't got FiOS over here, so still on Spectrum, but just like the
It's
highest
top
one. It's like,
notch.
yeah, they say,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
still glitchy Spectrum.
Same. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much, you know, what's it called? I think last week I had a stream, and surprisingly, I actually was able to do the entire stream, and I have So, like this little studio space is my garage, right? And, my modem is inside my house. So, same thing. I had to run an Ethernet from there to here. But the funny thing was that last week when I went live, um, like my friend was telling me that it was a little laggy. And I was like, I don't know why my Ethernet's, plugged in. And then I don't stream I don't stream that often yet. I need to get, I need to be like more consistent during the week at least. So, anyways, I've been like striking it. Like I'll unroll it, plug it in, and then when I'm done, I'll put it away. Well, I don't know what I was thinking, but pretty much last week it was laggy because I didn't plug it back into the router. So I was just going off Wi-Fi. I mean, I still managed to do it, but yeah, man, it's definitely little learning lessons like that.
Yeah, my girlfriend Brenda, she helps me a lot all the time. She'll don't forget to plug in the Ethernet. Always telling me that. She's all, did you put in your notifications? Did you put on your alerts on your screen? Did you do that? Because I'll forget like certain little things. There's a lot you got to
Yeah.
continue to put on.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Brenda though, man. I just, I was watching her in the chat like, dude, she's on top of it, like just interacting with everybody, like, sending the thank yous out. Like it's awesome. That's like, you have a automatic moderator.
Yeah, for sure. She's been a big help through from IG to Twitch, and she has a great time. She's made a lot of friends through it too.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've been single for quite some time, bro. I need to get me one, I need to get me a girlfriend. It's about time. Yeah, with all this stream stuff, it's cuffing season. Where they at?
Yeah. Hey, just go lurking in the Twitch streams. You'll find something.
Well,
Twitch love.
yeah, I need to find the ones that are like, talking to everybody and stuff like that. I need to find the friendly ones
Yeah.
too. um, yeah, she. I wasn't gonna like point out to the chat too much, but she's right there too, like with all the emotes. Got the Kim K fucking crying face.
Yeah.
um, yeah, I mean, how about with OBS and um Streamlabs OBS? What you're using Streamlabs, right?
I use both.
Oh, okay. What is?
So like
Go ahead, explain that.
like for today, like I use OBS. When I do music videos, I use just the regular OBS because you can't do them with
Oh,
Streamlabs. As far as I know,
mm,
I don't know a way to do music videos on
right.
Streamlabs. The way I know is on OBS.
Okay.
But when I'm not using music videos, for the most part, I'm doing Streamlabs. They're both pretty much the same.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I started on Streamlabs, and shout out to my friend Flotron. He's in the chat. Flotron pretty much kicked me off with all that stuff. Kind of, really kind of twisting my arm, like, "Hey, bro, you got to get on Twitch. Like, that's the thing. That's the wave right now." And I was kind of hard headed. Um, but yeah, like I started out with OBS too, and then um, once I got familiar with it, got more familiar with Streamlabs, and I like Streamlabs. For the most part, even though I will say that OBS is like it's just kind of like cut and dry. It's real easy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like I like using Streamlabs. Like, dude, it was I don't know. I feel like it was one of the hardest things for me was finding out how to like put the little updates on the layout. So that if somebody
Oh yeah,
follows you, you could put a little button. It's like simple shit, but if you don't know the terminology when you're working through this, it gets confusing.
yeah. They got it so you could just click and put it right in. I usually just use the alerts where I have like the gifs coming up where like Stone Cold Steve Austin's like pounding a beer
Yeah.
or something like when they follow and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, and like doing all this stuff, it really, getting to be able to customize like everything with Twitch is pretty cool because you get to create like your own environment, right? And it really reminds me of like the throwback like MySpace days, because I don't know if you ever did that, but I used to make like custom layouts for MySpace.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I had those.
yeah, but
It looked
I
where you made it look like a website.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You
Yeah.
make it like real legit, So it kind of really does remind me of that, and it's also made me like, because of everything going on, it's also um, made me get reacquainted with Photoshop. You know, like I use Photoshop, but honestly, not nearly to the extent of like its ability is. And so like with all this, I had to like relearn Photoshop so I could, honestly, I mean, it's just a dope skill to have though, regardless. Like Photoshop is
No, yeah,
so.
it came in handy. I'm glad I learned it years ago because it's come in handy. Because I make all my own flyers. I did
Hmm.
before all this, so I
Right.
would make flyers for every time I stream. I do all my own layouts. I do all my own graphic design, from merch to anything. It's all me.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful that I learned Photoshop. I mean, I still learn.
Right.
There's still stuff I don't know,
Right.
but
Where did you learn that, anyways?
uh, I had a few friends that knew some stuff, and I just like self-taught. But they would give me tips. Like I still get tips, just like, oh well, how do I do this? And then they go, oh, you do this, and I just like traffic my way around it.
Right.
Like that's pretty much with everything. Just teach myself.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I was having a conversation with Revolution and Hoppa actually about it, but I was kind of just asking Revolution like, hey man, like what's going on? How's everything? Because I actually went for like a little private lesson with him, and he's like, just making the best of the whole situation. He's like, I've been learning a lot, and one of the things I asked him was like, oh, what did you learn? He's like, I learned Photoshop, and I was like, dude, like me too. I've been doing like online tutorial stuff with it, and at Scratch we teach Ableton, but I would almost argue that Photoshop is almost like it's like right under. Ableton's like here, and then I feel like Photoshop's right under because, like you were saying, like the importance of being able to make your own flyer at like your own whim and not having to be obligated to pay somebody to do it every time you want to do an event.
That's why I taught myself it.
Yeah.
Because years ago when I started throwing my own events, and I would pay someone, and they wouldn't do what I wanted,
Mm-hmm.
and I would never get the flyer on time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, why am I paying somebody to do something? I'll just pay myself, learn it, and I'll use it for other things. And thankfully, I did because it comes in handy all the time.
Hell yeah, and I mean, and that goes for anybody listening because like you know with the podcast, I try to highlight important parts, and I think that that's definitely an important piece of is going to be an important piece of this episode is like the whole notion of you know um, kind of like trying to cover all your bases as much as you can so that like the things that you do have to pay for you kind of absolutely have to pay for, but save money when you can. Some people are so quick to like oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna buy this, I'm gonna buy that, and a lot of times that's easily how you get taken advantage of because you don't even know how it works or how it's um, how easy or hard it is. Sometimes things are really hard, so you're like, you know what, that thing's just such a hassle. I'm gonna pay for it. I'm gonna be done with it. That's somebody else's worry, but that's okay with me because like that's just something that I'm gonna let slide. You know?
Yeah. And then also Photoshop, it could be used as another source of income if you know it. Like I've made money off of Photoshop, like lots of money. I used to do flyers for other DJs or venues, and venues would pay me. And then I even did layouts and stuff for some DJs for Twitch. And but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just I don't like to do it.
Right.
I'll be honest. So I mean, please don't hit me up for any
Yeah.
because it's so hard. I got so much going on. I got to focus on me. I can't be making like more flyers, more layout, like stuff like that. It's like all the Photoshop stuff is for me right now. I don't got time to do it.
Yeah. Um, with, and I wanted to go back to Twitch. With Twitch, how long would you say, like, even if you just had to estimate, like, how long would you say that you felt like comfortable on it? How long do you think it took? More or less. Like, I mean, I know there's still some type of like hiccups here and
Uh,
there, but
I don't know. I want to say like I really dove deep into Twitch in like late June, early July, and then by like August I was pretty comfortable. But I mean, still little things here and there.
right,
But like I don't know, like a month.
yeah, a month.
Brenda, what do you think? No, how when was I like comfortable? Like no, it's like July or I don't know.
She's
I
all, what do
don't
you mean, like with your sexuality?
not I don't know, a few weeks. I mean, I was going hard. Like
Right,
I was really going hard.
right,
Like in July, like it, I was on all the time.
yeah,
Same with August, like September too. Like I've slowed down because I just got other stuff I got to do.
Right. So what with that, like, what do you think helped you get comfortable? Do you think it was just like kind of like a practice thing, like the more you do it, the more
Yeah, just
comfortable
just repetition.
yeah.
Just just keep doing it.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, another like little highlighted point of this is also in part for me because equally I know that there's a lot of listeners that probably have thought about getting on Twitch, and you know you get discouraged. You get discouraged with maybe like numbers, or as far as like viewers go, like, oh my god, like I only got 3 viewers in my stream, like I suck, you know, like all that stuff really can get in your head, and slow you down.
No, for sure.
So like, how was that for you? Like, do you feel like, did you have that early on, or like did you just what's the
Uh,
secret, bro? You ignore
um,
it.
honestly, thankfully, I only like my first couple streams on Twitch, which I was doing IG, so I wasn't really pumping it.
Right.
But like, pretty much from like when I started going hard, luckily, I never really got to like the 10 viewer under that,
Right.
except when I was doing the other thing and I wasn't focusing on Twitch. But once I like put focus on it,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think maybe there was like 20 or something, and it started rising and rising. Um, but luckily, I didn't because I can see I would get discouraged if there was like 23 people.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I would be mentally messed up if there was like 3 people, but I would just tell myself like, "Yo, you just got to keep going. You
Yeah.
just got to keep doing it. Keep doing it. Just pretend." I'd look at it like this: when there's not that many people in the room, think of it as when you're starting out in the club.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody there
Yep.
in the beginning. You like if you're doing a full night on your own, like you start with nobody,
Mm-hmm.
and then you build your way up. And as long as you keep going, people will come.
Yeah,
And
I do want to like stop, like, kind of just piggyback on that whole idea, and yeah, I've definitely like had that discussion with people how we made this like analogy where DJs are kind of like nuclear power plants, and that's just in the sense that, like, we create energy from nothing essentially, and the same goes for like exactly what you're talking about. Like, if you're on your stream and you're doing the bare minimum and you're sad because you got 2 3 viewers in there, and then you play like you got only 2 or 3 viewers in there, well, the chances are that even if someone does stumble upon your channel, if you're playing like all mopey and you're just like miserable in there, then they're not gonna stay in there. That's not a fun environment. That's an exact example of like a club night. If you're on a strip where there's a bunch of clubs, and then you pass by this one that has like 3 people in it, and the music's dope, so you feel like, oh, you know what, it's early, like I think it's gonna pick up, and then you'll stay in there to kind of like like roll the dice a little bit. You're like, I like the vibe here, let's see if it picks up.
yeah,
Whereas opposed to walking by the club that only has 3 4 people in there, but you listen to the music and like, I could see why. Like the energy's
yeah,
just dead in here. you know
yeah, for sure. Oh, and I'll tell you why I don't think I ever had those low numbers is because I went so hard on IG. Like the way I was going hard on Twitch, like I was doing that on IG. Like I was on all the time.
Yeah.
And there was like key nights that I remember that I knew that helped me where I did like an 80s party, and on that night on IG, I think I started like around like a 8 p.m. on a Friday night, and I went and did like outfit changes. I dressed up like the Macho Man, then I changed into like Hogan, and then I changed into like hip hop LL Cool J with the bucket hat and
Yeah.
like throwback Stussy shirt, and like people just gravitated to that.
Right.
And then also the other thing that helped was going live on the You're Not Down page, which
Oh
is the
yeah.
party Angie and I do,
Right.
which has a good following.
Right.
And Angie helped out with that too because she was doing the You're Not Downs on Sundays.
Yeah.
But when she couldn't do it, I would do it. And what really I think helped out was me doing my Prince days. So I did Prince, nothing but Prince on IG Live on the You're Not Down page. and that just grew the following. So I think it was a lot easier because I already had the IG following when I was getting good numbers on
Right.
IG.
Right.
Like I'm hitting like in the 80s, past the hundreds on IG. The lowest was like when I hit my peak was like around like 40, 50 people. So I think it was an easy transition because a lot of them followed.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, we're gonna hop on Twitch, and it helps. It also helps being friends with Angie because we have a lot of the same following.
You know what? You just point out a good point, and I want to like talk about that. And it's like it's actually something that I learned this year too, and kind of that importance of being consistent. Like it's such a I don't know. I think it's just such an underrated like term, and you know the importance of the fact that like especially with today's like generation, or just like as far as like what you think about a lot, and how you feel like a lot of people reach that overnight success. And it's definitely not the case for a lot of people. I mean, if there is an overnight success type of person, it's like lightning. It's really rare. But for the rest of us that seem like it's overnight, it's like, dude, you've been
Yeah.
DJing for how long? I know we talked about it before, but just to remind everybody.
I think I first got paid. That's what I count when I started DJing. 2004.
Yeah,
So what is that? Was that 16, 7?
yeah,
I don't know, like
yeah.
16,
Almost
17
almost
years.
17 years. Yeah, the next
Yeah.
month.
It
Um,
might have been 2003. I don't know.
yeah. So I
It
mean,
it might have been August. Yeah, it was August '03. First time I got paid. Yeah.
you've definitely, you've laid down that groundwork, and I think that, again, I like to flesh out stuff like that too, because some people will come in here and they'll be like, oh well, that guy was already doing it, or he never had low numbers, so he doesn't know what it's like to be at the bottom, like with 3 or 4 viewers. He doesn't know what it means to grow organically. But dude, like you've been like putting that groundwork in since you started, essentially, and then not to mention that, like you were saying, as far as the like going live, like you had already got your crowd and your people like somewhat familiar with it. Like they were already kind of acquainted with that whole thing, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, and I wanted to kind of point that out too, because of like how funny it is that had you not done that, like you probably wouldn't be as successful as you are right now, as far as the whole Twitch thing goes. Um, right? Would you?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. If I didn't initially, like right when the pandemic hit and we got locked down, I went straight to IG. If I never did that, if I would have waited, I wouldn't be at partner
yeah,
right now.
yeah. And that's what I was saying. Like the importance of consistency, and just to continue doing like what you like to do. Because I mean, dude, it sounds like what you were doing, and I witnessed it. But like you're having fun, you're having fun, and people will gravitate to that. And I wanted to also kind of flesh out this whole like thing about, like I said, about being consistent. And something that kind of got bestowed upon me recently was the fact that I do a lot of like social media. I actually genuinely like social media. I really enjoy it. Like I like to encourage people on my like stories and stuff like that. I like to do this stuff. I like everything with DJing, right? And
Hmm.
like um I don't know if you've seen, but recently I got brought onto the DJ coach team with Hoppa. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, and the reason that I got brought onto it is not like because I'm the most amazing DJ or anything like that, right? I'm not the most anything. It was just the fact that like everything just fit that I fit that job description, in the sense that like I'm very familiar with media. I'm not afraid to get in front of a camera, and I've already been teaching at Scratch DJ Academy for like almost 4 years, and so to put me in that position was really easy, and it like tripped me out, because when Hoppa asked me, it's kind of like, why me? Like I'm honored, but like so many
Don't
DJs.
question yourself. Just take it.
No, well, like I mean, I'm a realist. I still like to think about things, and also like I like to analyze things too, so that
Be
maybe
like, why not me?
I like well I like to like kind of like focus a little bit more on those attributes when I kind of realize like those are strengths. Like hey, like that's dope. Keep doing that. And like I said, it was it was that whole notion of like the things that I had already been doing. And so it just kind of like opportunity. What is it like luck when opportunity meets preparation? When those two,
Opportunity was knocking.
yeah. And just like I said, like it really tripped me out the fact that like I had already been doing this, and so it was just a perfect fit.
Just like I always like to say, quoting the great poet from Pomona, Sugar Free. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
True, true, man.
It's so true.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's exactly like like you said, like you stayed ready, and even though there were some things that like you were tweaking like along the way, like you were real quick to like to do that. You know?
Yep.
Oh,
Just could learn on the fly.
yeah, man. So so as far as like, what would you like? What kind of advice would you give someone that's starting out with Twitch? Like, what are some things that you think the people should know?
Just hop on, get on it. Just just go on. Like no matter what kind of camera you got, whatever you got, work with what you got and just get on.
So
Promote yourself. You got to promote yourself. Don't just hop on Twitch thinking that people are gonna come.
yeah, I agree with that.
Like if you don't know Photoshop, invest in someone making you a flyer. Like build a night. Like if you were doing something at a club, like if you post your club flyers all the time, build that as your club night, no matter what time of day it is.
Yeah,
Just start experimenting with different days. Just hop on and just do it.
yeah. I think an important part of what you're saying too is kind of like that whole like
Oh, and don't rely on your friends to be the ones to go support you
mm,
because most likely they got other shit going on. It's gonna be a lot of strangers that are to be the ones supporting you.
yeah,
That's how it is with me. Like I have friends now that I've made, but for the most part, I don't like a lot of my friends aren't in here.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
They got other stuff, but so don't rely on that. Just like a club night, don't rely on your friends. Same thing to go fill your club. You got to reach out to the people.
yeah. Well, don't yeah, yeah. I mean, don't. I think it's more of the fact that like don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like if you think
Yeah,
that
for sure.
like oh yeah, you know what, I got a bunch of homies like they're all gonna be here like you said they do have other shit, and I'm sure that they'll support, like they'll hop in like here and
Yeah,
there. But if you're basing your entire stream off of that, then that's definitely like not advised, right?
yeah, but yeah, I would just say just like quit waiting, hop on, check out some YouTube videos. Check out Cleveland Terry. He's got a lot of great YouTube videos
Right,
for DJs. A lot about streaming.
right,
Check him out. I checked his stuff out in the early beginning. He's helped me a lot with those videos. Just go on YouTube, go and check out other DJs, see what they're doing.
right.
Take bits and pieces of what they're doing.
Likes and dislikes,
And,
yeah,
and then also when you hop on, you can't just go on there and DJ. It's different. It's unless you just have a bunch of DJs in your chat, but that's not what you want. You want to connect with the people. You have to build a connection and build a bond with them.
yeah,
And you can't be phony because they'll catch it. Like you truly got to build a bond and don't hop on for money because you got to do it because you love it. If you're just hopping on because you see that people get checks and stuff, like it's not going to work that way. You got to do it because you love it and you truly want to like make a difference for yourself and others. That's why I go on.
right,
It keeps me sane and I know I'm helping other people.
right,
And that's the reason why I started the whole thing in the beginning was like, you know what? I love to do this and I feel like this can help people.
right. Yeah, man. No, you definitely have. I feel like every day I'm reminded about how important music is. Like I'll wake up and I want to hear a song and I'll play a song, and it's kind of amazing how that one song in the morning, excuse me, how that one song in the morning can really kind of just set your day, you know?
No, for sure. And this here's a way this helped me too. Like before, like I'll be honest, I was burnt out with DJ.
Mm-hmm.
Like before the pandemic, like I was burnt. I was like, man, I need a break.
Right.
I didn't want this long of a break, but I
You got your
but I
wish,
needed
buddy. You happy?
yeah, but I was burnt, man. It gets old, like doing the same, like it's fun. There's certain gigs that don't get old,
For sure.
but there's some that it just gets old. I'm tired of playing the same stuff. It felt like nothing was moving with music. Like we were still playing like Big Bang. That
Yeah.
was the club heater for like 2 years straight. Like nothing was like moving with music.
Yeah.
So it just got old. But when I started live streaming, I'm like, okay, well now I have full control.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that are mostly tuning in are a lot of people that maybe don't go out to the clubs,
Mm-hmm.
and they just love music. And I was just playing all the stuff I loved, and I remembered why I love music, and I'm just doing what I want to do, and they're loving it. I'm not playing all the new music. I think the only new records I've played in the last 9 months is stuff off the YG album. When Travis Scott came out with a new record, I forgot what it was, and pretty much that's it. Unless I was streaming because I had to stream from Green Room a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, no new music. Haven't touched it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And nothing against new music because I'm bumping the new Two Chains. I'm bumping the 21 Savage, in my car.
Yeah.
But when I'm DJing, I just feel more of a vibe when I'm playing old school, 90s, 80s, 2000s, all that stuff.
Right. And I'll say my if you guys have ever listened to my podcast, I'll say my little famous line. But there's like, there's some gigs where you're reminded why you get paid, and then there's some gigs where you can't believe you're getting paid.
Yeah.
Like I always say that, but I think it's so true, and I think I think and on behalf of what you're saying is that whole notion of like you had a lot of gigs that were reminding you why you're getting paid, you know, and so like
What was it that it wasn't that bad. There was a couple. It was just it's not that they were bad. Like Brenda just told me, it was repetitive.
yeah,
So it was like the same thing over and over. And then, sometimes like you get discouraged. You try. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try different stuff in here. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and it's just like, okay, let me go back to the same old
same bullshit,
thing.
yeah,
Let me play "Ain't No Fun" because everyone's like sing along.
yeah,
Like, and that used to be one of my favorite songs.
yeah.
But
And I think yeah, mine too. The Ain't No Fun was like my high school like fucking anthem. Me and my little homies, my little hood rat homies were having like that played every time we were there. We would show up and like, hey, you know what song to play, y'all. Yeah. But
yeah, but it's cool now. It's like I haven't heard. I don't play it in the clubs. I don't hear it when I'm out. Like, so now when I hear it, it's like, oh, it's fresh again. Same with
right,
Montel. This is how we do it.
right.
Like, I can't wait to play that in the club.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, at this point, I don't think we can wait to play anything. Like, anything in the club would be great, like, fucking.
Well, let me take that back because play in a club where people are allowed to dance and be close to each other.
Yeah.
Because in between, I did a few gigs and it was awful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was horrible. I'm like, I don't even want to be here. I'm like, I'd rather DJ from home.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I think, and we can go down that in a little bit too, but I will say this, like, I think that a lot of DJs are realizing that whole notion of exactly what you're talking about the fact that, and even like me kind of just having this like epitome, but like, or not epitome, but like moment of enlightenment, but the whole like ironic part of like when I had my guest on here from behind the booth, like as any of you guys watching have a little TV screen and you could see like my guest right there. Whenever,
I'm in there.
yeah, yes, you are. Whenever they do whenever they come out and they do a set, I would always tell them to do like, yo, do you like do whatever you want. Like this is your moment to be free. Like not have any like box around you and um like I was really trying to push that. I really wanted people to just like, hey, play some cool shit. Like play some shit that you don't get to play out at the club, for obvious reasons because there's just not that crowd for it or whatever. And and that's what I was saying. I think it's kind of ironic because that's what I was, having people do like last year in my little podcast, and now I think that that's kind of the way. Like right now, you know, it's I think it's highly encouraged to do something kind of off the wall because if you do the generic set, I would argue that a lot of people kind of aren't tuning into that right now. Would you agree with that?
No, I totally agree. I don't hear or not hear read people typing in like requests because they'll type in requests still.
Right.
But I never get that for any of the new stuff. Maybe because they're used to not hearing it.
Right.
But you know, I guess like sometimes like I'll drop Latin and play like the new stuff for that, but it's not often.
Right.
But I'm not getting that. Like people are coming out for all the old stuff. Like they want that.
But I would even say like with the people that you follow, like as far as stream wise, would you feel like that kind of that message is kind of carried throughout like the people that you follow, or do you still see a
Yeah,
lot of people doing like the bottle popper type of shit?
I don't see mm, I don't see anyone doing the bottle popper type stuff. I mean, Dre Sinatra will do it every now and then, but he does like his Sade sets. He does a lot of different
Yeah.
stuff. But like, like when he did it, like it's different. It's not like his he did a raid party with us on Halloween with Angie and a bunch of other DJs, and his set was dope. Like it was fun. Like, and I guess you would call it the quote unquote popper set, but it wasn't. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, and then he put a different twist to it. So like, yeah, no, I don't see any of the DJs really doing that.
Well, hopefully, like talking about this out loud. Hopefully, I hope it would be like an eye opener for a lot of people. A lot of people that are kind of like getting acquainted with Twitch. And then the people, even the people that ones that are already familiar with it. I hope it's like an eye opening moment where it kind of reminds people that like, hey, music used to be fun. Like you used to actually like listen to music and like want to dance, as opposed to like just showing out. And I think
Yeah.
hopefully again, I hope it reminds DJs as well, like hey guys, like remember how like much cool shit you were playing on Twitch? Like you can still incorporate some of that shit,
Yeah,
in
I
your
think I
IRL
think
sets.
the pandemic has brought open format back to the masses.
Yeah,
Like I've always been playing like this. As
yeah,
like when I playing at Down and Out, yeah, I'll play like all the new stuff, but I'll play a lot of
for
throwbacks.
sure, for sure.
Same with Green Room. Like I'll play like the hot new shit, but you're gonna get a lot of throwbacks too.
Yeah.
But I think for the masses, like I think open format is like back. Like all the DJs I see that they're mixing it up. Like I don't see bottle popping sets. Maybe I'm not following those DJs, but from the DJs that I follow, I
About,
don't see the bottle
I'm about to
popping
say,
stuff.
knowing like that the way the world works, like there probably is some DJs that are like that, and I
Yeah.
bet you like, dude, the chat is like nothing but like dropped X amount of biddies or whatever, like, and it's just like, I mean, I haven't seen that, but that would be kind of a sight to see. Like, you pop in the chat and nobody's doing emotes, everybody's just fucking dropping biddies, fucking everywhere, left and right. I don't
Well,
know.
that happens, but
I mean,
that
it'd be
that happens now, but it's not like geared towards that.
it'd be funny to kind of to join in there and then be a little broke ass, like not fucking, being the cheap ass, right, John?
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, thank you for that sub.
Yeah, y'all heard that? I'm sub, y'all. It's legit now. It's
Thank you for
official.
subscribing. Enjoy those emotes.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I'm gonna, fucking use them every time I get a chance. I'm on, I'm on from behind the booth, or else I'd use some right now, dude.
Looks like you got to subscribe again.
Oh, on this account,
Double
right?
subscription.
Um, yeah, no, I like what you were saying about the whole like, really trying to just encourage people to just get on it, with Twitch, because it's kind of funny how like that's kind of the biggest hurdle, but once you do that, like you really have a potential to
It's
just
just like
to
anything in
be
life. You just got to do it. If you want to do it, just do it.
yeah
Like if you don't have everything, work with what you got.
Yeah. 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 I mean,
And also,
yeah.
reach out with others. If you know other DJs doing it and you're friends with them, like go to their place, stream, ask, can I come stream with you?
Yeah.
Be like, yeah, I passed my COVID test. Can I come stream with you?
Yeah.
you
You
know,
definitely got to
like
put that disclaimer out there.
team up with some other DJs. If you're discouraged, team up with the people that you know if they're doing it.
what are what are some tips that you'd give some people? Like trying to what are some things that you learned that I think that could really help. Like kind of like what you're saying. So what you're saying is definitely a tip. But is there any more anything like streaming with other people or like
Well,
I've
yeah,
seen
like
people doing like these whole like the whole like raid train things. Is that
yeah,
what are your thoughts?
yeah, do the raid trains. Those help. Um, I would suggest getting like someone, at least one or two people in the raid train that's like been doing it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're doing a raid train with everyone that just started that week, it's not really a work.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
You gotta have a ringer. You know what I mean? Like someone
Well, I mean,
to.
even that
I mean,
though, even that, I mean, at least like you have a chance of like creating exposure amongst like your peers. So like
yeah. I mean,
my followers will be
it
exposed to that.
works. I'm just saying I would like get a couple others involved.
Right.
That way, like the raid train is like, you really make the most out of it.
No, yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, if you can't, like I say, work with what you have. Like
right,
if all your friends just started on Twitch, go ahead and do it. I'm not knocking that.
right,
I'm just saying try to get other people
right,
involved that are more
for
experienced
sure.
because that's only to benefit you guys too.
Yeah,
So, and then you all share each other's following.
yeah. No, I mean, I
I,
definitely appreciate you and doing your little pregame show and then bringing everybody in here. Like that was honestly, man. Like I was so like kind of blindsided by that. I was like, man, that's awesome. Like I can't thank you enough for sure.
yeah, that's why I wanted to do it. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going on. I might as well go DJ first and then bring whatever because I know this is your first stream on here.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, well, let me try to bring whatever I can
Yeah. No,
to it.
I really, like I said, I really appreciate that. And even like Carrie, Angie's homie, Carrie, she reached out to me kind of recently, and she was like, hey, you want to do and it nothing solidified, but even just the fact that like she kind of reached out to me where she was like, hey, Angie's gonna be doing this 14 days of streaming thing. Would you be interested? And if you are, like, just let me know your availability. And
Mm-hmm.
like to me, like that was a big deal. I was like, oh man, like that's cool. Like, Angie has a really big following, and I'm honored, to even be like considered.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I said, none of it like was solidified, but it's dope. Like I really appreciate that, and also like you making the effort, and then also that hand extension from Carrie, it definitely like kind of reinforced the whole idea of me. Like it kind of puts pressure on me in a good way, where it's like, dude, like you got people out there that will help you. Like just fucking get on it. Like just handle
Yeah,
your shit
just
well,
do it.
yeah. And I mean, same thing with some of these people in the chat or the people that are viewing, and I'm sure that the people that hear it after, um, like they're all like in support, and it's like they want to support you, but if you don't give them anything to support, then how can they? You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man.
Then the other thing is like, if you have friends that are on there, go in their chat and support them and be in there and interact. Like I'm a mod for Von Kiss. She's one of my close friends,
Right.
and we team up a lot doing this, which helps each other.
Right.
She's come over to my house. I've gone to her house, and we do the back-to-back streams.
Right.
I'm usually pretty much rating her all the time on Sunday because she goes on after me, or if she sees me on, she'll raid me. But like I said, I'm a mod in her chat, so I'll be in there like talking to the people. I'll meet new people
Mm.
just from like kicking it, like just supporting my friend.
Yeah.
Like if you're a DJ and you have friends that do that, go support them,
Mm.
and then you'll get follows and you'll get people. Even if you're not streaming, they'll go, support you. Or like even if, for instance, like if a DJ's in one of my streams, I'm gonna shout them out. I'm like, oh, what up, DJs? Like, and I'll have a time like, yo, put all your info in. If you're, follow blah blah blah, so and
Definitely.
so.
Definitely, man. I mean, honestly, that was something that I learned from you right away. Like when you were doing that, like I couldn't like think about how enough about how awesome the fact that you did that, and it was just so natural to you. And like right when I hopped into like maybe like the first time that I watched you on Twitch, you're like, yo, what's like everybody like, DJ Wally's in the house. Make sure you follow that guy. He's a dope DJ. Then you even asked like me to announce like my next stream, and some people, if the wrong person, they wouldn't do that at all, or they wouldn't try to encourage someone to go to another stream, and you were like, nah, man, like, thank you for coming. Let everybody in here know like when you're on, and then we'll tune into you, or like maybe we could raid you. And like that was definitely something that I learned from you, where like I try to implement in my streams. Like if I see anybody, I'm like, yo, like what's up, man, how you doing, like, go ahead, like when are you gonna play, like, and also, um like not only is it dope for like the community, but it's also dope because like it gets you kind of excited about your own thing, like to announce that. And like if I only had one day when you asked me, but if I had 3 days, it would have been awesome to say that, like, oh man, like now's my chance, like John B's giving me a chance to put my schedule on. And if I was ready, if I stayed ready, then I would have said Monday, Wednesday, Friday, John, like you and all the homies could catch me. But I wasn't at the time, but
Yeah,
it's still like it's encouraging.
yeah, because I mean, we're all in the same boat. We all gotta stick together to help each other out.
Right.
So if they're supporting, like most DJs are like support back.
Yeah.
I I've never I'm yet to see someone like not support. Like if they see someone like in the chat, like another DJ, supporting. But oh, my other advice of what not to do. I mean, unless you know the people, don't ask for raids and
Oh.
don't like just go promoting your stuff without like that person streaming giving them permission, because I've seen DJs get upset with that. Like if you just like promote, like do nothing, but you go in the chat and you're just promoting yourself in
Right.
another DJ stream.
Yeah.
Like I would advise not to do that
Right.
unless they give you the window.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't like go like, hey, can you raid me? Like if you know the DJ, if you're friends with them, like go do that. But like if you don't know the DJ, don't go sliding in their whispers and asking them for a raid, because you're most likely just gonna annoy them,
Yeah.
because that now you're looking, now it doesn't seem
Genuine.
like
Yeah.
authentic. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It just seems like, oh, you just want to use them for
Yeah.
something. It's like,
Yeah.
and that's not the purpose of all this.
Yeah.
Is the purpose is for us to all grow together, help each other out, and just entertain people and keep ourselves sane.
Right. No, yeah, man. I was in there too, like when I remember specifically I was in one of your Twitches, and somebody popped in, and then they were like, oh yeah, like they were rated, and then they were like, oh, let's go somewhere else, you know.
Oh yeah,
Remember that?
I remember that.
And
Yeah, so
go ahead.
so they had the DJ. I don't know if the DJ did it, but some DJ, I don't even remember his name,
Right.
but he had a crew of people that came in,
Yeah, I remember that.
and then they were acting like kind of funny, and they're like, "Oh, he's just giving away stickers," and I'm like, "What the fuck? Like these stickers cost me a lot of money to give away, because I'll do giveaways
Yeah.
and stuff." And they were like knocking in. They're like, "Oh, whatever. Let's go to another room. Like we're all going here." And it's like, "Yo, you can't go into another DJ stream and try to." And they were trying to pull the crowd out.
Right.
And then my friends were telling me, "Yeah, they're DMing people in your stream, trying to get them to come to the other stream." And then they went and did that same thing to DJ Liv, and then they had the blocker over there at Liv's chat, and I think that another DJ. So they were just like going to like all these other DJ streams, trying to get them to go to their friend stream.
Damn. Dude, that's.
So
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, so that's not cool. Don't be doing that.
Yo, that's like, I mean, it's so, the crazy thing is too, like, imagine that going down, like, in real life. That's like a group of people going into the club and be like,
Well,
hey,
that
hey,
does
y'all,
happen.
hey, y'all, let's get out of here. Everybody, let's get out of here. Fuck this club. Let's go to the club next door, like,
They try to do that at Green Room to us all the time. Crazy J's. Those the people from Crazy J's will come over to Green Room and try to take the people from Green Room to Crazy J's. I was like, what?
what's his name? I wish I remembered his name, but the security guard don't do nothing about that. The
Oh,
homie, the big homie.
well, they catch it. Yeah, Danique. Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll catch it. I mean, I don't know the last time it happened. It's been so long, but I mean that used to happen.
Right.
So it does happen in person. It's whack,
I see.
but
I see the what the hell in the chat. My homie, that's the homie Mars right there. But totally, I get that, man. Um, what else is? Oh, as far as gigs go, what's up with all that? I mean, if you even like, even if you even want to talk about that, because I know for some people they're like, bro, let's just let's just keep it rolling.
no. But what do you want to? What do you want to know? Like,
Well, like, I mean, as far as, so for one, did you have a lot of gigs booked this year? As far as like DJ gigs,
oh, the ones that got canceled.
right?
Oh yeah. So we had our like snap events that I do at
Mm-hmm.
House of
Yeah,
Blues. I work with Live Nation. For those listening, I work with Live Nation and do a bunch of parties.
right.
So here's a spoiler. Right before the pandemic hit, I was working on booking a old school artist over at the observatory for You're Not Down. We were going to do You're Not Down at the observatory, a
Oh
concert series.
shit.
So that was going to take place in April, like April, or yeah, it was somewhere in April or something like that.
Right.
We were going to do it there, and I was working on booking. Like I was in contact with Stevie B, Expose,
Mm.
and I want to say I think Debbie Deb. So I was back and forth with those people, and then that's literally that week the pandemic hit, and well, that's not happening.
Damn.
And then like all my snap events, like all that stuff, the stuff I do with the Prince impersonators, Purple Madness, like all that canceled, all those events, and then of course I've had bars close, like Little Easy, they sold it. The Bang Bang Room in downtown LA sold
Oh.
it. So I don't have that to go back to.
Oh, Little Easy was right behind DNO, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So I
Oh,
don't have that. I don't have the Bang Bang Room. Down and Out is still surviving, I believe. Haven't heard from them.
I just
That
seen
was my
I seen a commissary lounge put out like a SOS on Instagram recently.
So I mean those were my three gigs in residencies in downtown LA,
Mm.
and then I got Green Room, which I played at, and then they told them no more DJs, and now because they're in LA County, they can't even be open.
Mm.
And then San Manuel, um, I don't know what's going on with that.
Mm.
And I mean, I do a lot of like prom stuff and high school stuff. That didn't happen this year.
Mm.
So yeah, a lot of stuff didn't happen.
Right. Right.
But
Go ahead.
I did get booked to do like even back on the IG days. I had people from Dallas, Texas, book me to do birthdays. I did a few birthday parties like back to back one day on IG. So there are positives. I'm doing a holiday party in a few weeks on Zoom.
Mm.
So I've been booked to do, and also another birthday I did for some people in Texas on Twitch.
Right.
And then I've done a few. I did a wedding in October. I did a house party for like 7 people.
Damn.
They loved it though,
Yeah.
and that's it. But yeah,
Did you have any did you have any like did you have any issues with what we were talking about as far as how how I was saying that today I got like my first like deposit fee, like someone was
no,
requesting. You
nah,
didn't have nothing like that?
no.
Oh, okay.
Fortunate. I mean, I didn't have any weddings booked.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have anything, nothing booked.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, cuz even in like I had them do a contract and everything, and like I mean, I think they called me cuz honestly the without getting too specific, but I think the groom was like a lawyer, cuz like dude, they would like when they would hit me up, they came like super correct with it. And I mean, for me, it's like I get the deposit, I'll send an invoice over, but I'm not like super, like everything's got to be all contract out and like verbatim and all this stuff, right? And they were like super super on top of it, like they've been since like last year, and they, it's funny because even with them, they were having the hardest time in my contract. I have something where it kind of covers like inclement weather and making sure that if like if they don't provide the proper like um, stuff for to pretty much cover my gear to make sure that I'm cool, then
Yeah.
oh sorry, um, then like they were getting kind of nervous about it because they were like, oh, what does that entail, and what would you consider inclement weather? And I was like, dude, like, yo, if it's raining, give me a fucking canopy or a waterproof canopy so my shit don't get wet. Like it's not
Yeah.
that serious. Like I don't have fucking tornado coverage in there. Like it's just like just make sure the shit's cool. Like if it's windy, I want to have some protection. Like I don't need the most, but yeah. So I think my ass was covered in the contract. That's why they called me. He had the wife call me, and the wife called me and was like, hey, like is there anything we can do? Like, is there any way like? And I felt bad, dude. Like honestly, like and this isn't putting any particular names, but like she told me that she lost her job, and I was just like, oh shit, like, and luckily, I have this virtual conference that I've been doing. I did it last week, and then it's just starting up again this weekend. So luckily, I'm gonna get some nice income, a sizable income from this, and
Yeah.
so the retainer fee, I was like, you know what, like, yeah, you can have it, like, it's not a
Yeah,
problem
for
to me.
sure. You did the right thing.
No, and
Yeah.
they and honestly they're like really cool. I mean, the wife's like always liking my stuff, and she was super ecstatic to book me in the beginning. But dude,
Yeah,
like
and when the time's right, they're just gonna book you more
yeah.
because you did that and they're like, remember that.
Oh yeah, and I mean honestly, the only reason that they canceled was because of the fact that their friend offered to gift the DJ services like for the wedding on for free, like as a Christmas present or some shit. It was like um I don't know, maybe the husband's like friend or something like that. I was like,
Oh.
I mean, in retrospect, it's like, where were you guys? Where were you guys before the fucking pandemic? Like, y'all didn't make that available before then, but all right,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
um,
mean, I have the opposite. I got a company that still owes me money,
mm,
and they haven't paid me. So I'm in the opposite situation. And you know who they are because I've referred you to them.
oh,
You worked for them.
yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Yep.
So they're dodging you right now.
Well, I'm like I gave up.
Oh,
I mean, I'll get it one day, but I mean they've owed me since early March,
mm,
late February, and I mean I get it, whatever.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. I mean, when I was texting you, I seen that contact too, because I have them like as John B's
oh,
contact or something like that. I don't even have their name, but
is this funny when they're out there like traveling and stuff, and I see them in like Arizona and like eating out at restaurants and doing all the most. I'm like, you don't have this?
if you're still in
Like,
the
come on.
chat, let me see some. Let me see some damn trees. Let me see some palm
It's like,
trees, some
come on,
shade. I
bro.
need to see some shade, man, or some shaking my heads in the damn chat,
I just find it funny.
cause that ain't right.
Yeah.
Speaking of like this whole virtual stuff, with gigs and everything. So for one, um, what do you think is gonna happen when things go back to normal? Like, have you thought about as far as like your Twitch and like, keeping that up and all that?
Yeah, I'll keep it up because I got people from shit. I got some people from other countries that tune in.
Mm.
So, and nationwide. So I'll keep it going because I can't forget about them.
Right.
They're the ones that supported me.
Yeah.
I gotta, I gotta continuously do this
Right.
for them.
Right.
It just wouldn't be right.
Right.
But I'm preparing for it to not go back to normal. That's why I have all kinds of side hustles.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I may never go back to full time DJing. That's just reality. Who knows what's gonna happen? I
Yeah.
mean, I don't, I don't see any positive coming out soon. So with it, I mean, this is a positive, but I mean, as us going back to work doesn't look good.
Right. That and like right after you said that, like it was a cold. even though it was short, it was a cold pause when you said that. It was like a little mic drop moment. I was like, oh
Yeah.
fuck. It hurt. I mean, yeah, I mean, with Scratch, dude, like I haven't worked with Scratch for months now, like 5 months, and I think honestly, I'm pretty sure it's because like participation is like at an all time low right now, you know. But yeah, I mean, I definitely have been and thinking, and that's why you know, it was cool too that Hoppa presented me with that opportunity with the like virtual like online stuff because shit, like now I think is good as time as any, to be familiar with that and start to get your name out in that way because like you said, like it we don't really know how long this will go.
Yeah. It's tough. And the other thing I'm afraid of is the places that, survive it and they do reopen. I'm afraid of them undercutting
Mm.
everyone and trying to, like, oh, well, we've lost this much money. Can you do it for this amount? It's like, no, I can't survive off that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And then what I'm afraid of is DJs undercutting.
yeah,
Like, well, I'll do it. And, or they'll be like, oh, well, I'll just find someone else to do it cheaper. That's what I'm afraid of.
right. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of things that are definitely have been inside my head, and I get what you're saying, but also at the same time, you know, and I don't think it's just the optimism in me. I think that there's definitely some truth there. It's just a matter of when. But like when people can party, like when it is like like it's all
Oh,
good,
yeah. It's going to be
it's
wild.
gonna be lit. Like whatever year that is, this shit's gonna go hard.
Yeah.
So the
It's
demand
like,
will be high for us for sure. But it's
oh,
just a
yeah,
matter of like when will that be?
exactly. And who survives?
Yeah,
Like, what venues survive? Because I mean, they can't continue just to pay rent without getting no income.
yeah,
Like, and that's what sucks. It's like they're not getting help, and the help that they do get, it's not enough.
yeah,
Man, rent in downtown LA, that's not not inexpensive at all,
yeah,
and it just sucks
for
just
sure.
to see like venues go by.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm preparing for it. Like I am prepared to never DJ again. Not that I want to, but I'm prepared for it
You mean like
because
in real life, right?
yeah, in real life, like in real life, in person, like if I don't like to never DJ full time, I'm fully prepared. I got my backup plans. I'm over here hustling. I taught myself like, oh, I could customize sneakers. I could restore sneakers. I distress shirts. I'm out here in the stores looking for sourcing for merch to resell,
Right,
sneakers to resell. Like, I mean, that's my goal now. Is like turn my spot into a store.
right.
And just like today, I'm listing merch and stuff on every platform from eBay, OfferUp, Depop, Poshmark, Mercari, everything.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm doing. So I'm busy 24/7. So I'm constantly just like working. I'm online trying to source, trying to get stuff, flip, do whatever I can because I don't know how long this is going to last, but I have my other hustles that I do create revenue with.
right.
And if I just got to go harder, then I just go harder.
And that's something that I was gonna point out earlier in the fact that when we're talking about like paying for like graphic designers and stuff like that, I was gonna highlight that whole notion of like, really understanding like where your strengths are and if you are one of the fortunate ones that has like a pretty good job, um, and wasn't doing DJing like full time, but still very active in the DJ world, that's kind of one of the benefits that it's a trade off, right? Like if you have that job, you have the security, you also have like the you have the financial stability to finance like your passion, and so maybe you don't have time, maybe you don't have enough time to get familiar with Photoshop. So since you have that job, you have that extra money or that guaranteed income, so then you could pay to get things done. You know what I mean? Whereas people like us that have a lot of time on our hands, like it's like completely up to us to utilize it. You know, like you have all this time, um, make use of that time because people don't have the amount of like the free time that we have. You know, so definitely is like pros and cons to either side, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Um,
I
and
mean,
oh, go
for
ahead.
me personally, though, I'll tell you this: no matter what happens, I will never go get a 9 to 5.
Mm.
I will find a way to have my own business. I will never let someone else control me. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm not knocking it. But for me, I will never go work a 9 to 5.
Mm.
I will find a way to create my own hustle and my own business.
Right.
I will not let a pandemic take me out.
Right.
I'll find another way to get by because I don't want to be controlled.
Right.
I want to control my own destiny. And if I lose everything, I'd rather lose everything going out on my own.
Right. Right. I mean, is it that that I know that that was like wholehearted too and genuine and it, you know, it's kind of funny that like my mom she called me like a couple months ago and she's like, "Hey mijo, you know, how's everything?" Like she's all worried about me and she was telling me she's like, "Hey, so your my old room at my old house, um my cousin was living there for a minute." And she's like, "Hey, you know, so your cousin's, you know, she's moved out. Your room is all ready for you." And I'm like, "My room is ready for me. Like, what do you mean?" And she's like, "Well, yeah, you know, like, you know." And I'm like, "What do you know? I don't know what you mean. Like, what do you like, Mom? I'm not coming home anytime soon.
Trying
As
to
far
get you
as
to move back home.
yeah, you know." I'm just like I don't know what gave off that impression. You know, I don't act, like straight up like this is completely honest. Like I've I don't think I've ever asked my parents for money. Like like I've you know gone through all this stuff. Like however, like making sure that you know I think you've seen it at a point where I was doing Instacart. You know, there was no
Yeah.
shame in my game, bro. Like I had bills that I had to
No,
pay. You know, I was gonna do that shit, whatever I had to do.
nothing wrong with it. I was looking at it, I was like, oh, I might have to go do this.
Yeah, man.
That's still being your own boss.
Yeah, and you know like I mean it was a funny like situation, you know, where my mom's like, "Yeah, you know, your room's ready," and I was like, "Yeah, well, fucking good luck with
Yeah, I
that."
didn't even know what Instacart. I didn't even know what Instacart was until I saw you post it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, what's Instacart?
Hey man, I got really acquainted with it and I actually did make some really good money with it and even like me being very like proactive with it, like kind of like what we were talking about how like I got on it so fast. The fact that I got on it so fast and got so familiar with it, I gave like my little promo code out. And, you know, I never try to sucker anybody. I gave it for what it was. Like, you know, definitely helped me out
Yeah,
for a temporary time. And, you know, me giving that information out and giving my code out, that actually earned me money too. You know, people were like, if they did so many deliveries, then Instacart would shoot me like a little kickback. You know,
yeah,
so
and every bit helps.
it did every little bitty. Yeah, hey, that's a little. You know, go ahead and drop some biddies in there, y'all. Yeah, shit's not set up yet. This is the first episode.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but no, man, like, and you know that was something too that I don't know if you've seen when Angie went on that podcast recently. I think it was
I know she went on was
this
with
morning or
DJ Kova, right? Was that the one?
it was I don't know if it was this morning or yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah, yeah. So
I didn't see it,
oh,
but I know.
so one thing that really hit me and I love this about Angie is the fact that like they they were talking to her and she was saying how she was freaking out because she just got that new car or that Jeep
Yeah,
and she said that at one point she told like Carrie and Amaris that she's like, "Hey, so I just got a job at Amazon," and they were like laughing, and she's like, "No, I'm dead ass serious. Like, I don't have money, so I need to make money, and Amazon is hiring." And she specifically picked Amazon because of the whole like, what job is gonna survive this pandemic,
yeah,
and to me like her saying that really like it just said a lot. It said a lot about her character, and that whole notion of like, yo, like, I don't care how big you think you are or whatever, but yo, you do what you got to do,
Yeah, for sure.
you know. And I think that again, like with today's society, there's negative connotations with certain jobs and all that stuff like that, and it's like I seen this like it was a meme or something where it said, don't ever be ashamed of your hustle because they're not gonna feed you when you're broke or something like that. I probably butchered it, but that
No, for sure.
something along those lines, and you know exactly what I meant.
Yeah. And back to what I was saying, I wasn't trying to knock anyone working
Oh no,
a
no,
regular
no.
job. I was just saying like I'm not to let a pandemic take me out.
Yeah,
I'm going to find a way and I'm going to do whatever I can
right,
with any hustle
right,
because I consider like, Uber, all that stuff. You're still your own boss.
right.
You make your own hours. I just won't go. And I mean, obviously, if I lost everything, but like I said, I would lose everything before I would go do that.
Yeah, and and that's to your point exactly. Like that's exactly what I was thinking as far as like moving back with my parents. Like, and again, it's not to knock anybody that is living with their parents, but I'm in the same situation, bro. Like, I ain't moving back there till like I'll sell my car, I have a motorcycle, I'll sell. I mean, I'll sell whatever I have to fucking sell to stay
Exactly.
to hang on here as long as I can, And I think that even doing that, um, doing things like that, that'll be more motivation. Like, motherfucker, you gonna let that shit get sold? Like, bro, go fucking get something. Fucking find a way. Cause like,
Yeah, I mean, the minute the pandemic hit, we were over here. I was like, okay, what do we have to sell? Because we do. Brenda, she has Mi Casa Vegana, where she bakes,
mm-hmm,
but I make the vegan merch.
right,
I'm like, okay, I did inventory of all our merch. I'm like, we're having a flash sale. Post it. Let's sell some shit.
yeah,
And I calculated how much we had. I'm like, let's just get rid of it. Let's sell it. Let's go. Looking at other stuff. What do I have to sell? Sold some shoes. I'm like, I got to get by. Let me, and did all that. And then, because this was before, I was on IG, but, you know, we weren't on there making any money.
mm,
It was just, we weren't getting checks or anything like that.
right, right,
Or, we weren't getting there was no government assistance for, you know, a independent contractor yet.
right,
There was none of that.
right.
So I was just like, okay, what are we gonna do? Let's sell, 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 sell.
Yeah,
What do I have?
yeah, yeah. I know, bro. I mean, my homie, my homie tagged me in a photo the other day where he's like, "Hey, check this out," because I told him that I had a Charizard Pokemon card, and he's like, "Yeah, this shit's like selling for like 120,000 or some shit like that." And I was like, "Hey, bro, well I got two. What's good?" And if you guys know where I live, don't rob me, please. I hide the Charizard. I put it in a bank vault. But anyways, I got two of these motherfuckers. I gotta get them graded though. We'll see how much they're worth.
Yeah, get them
I'm
graded.
really
PSA.
I'm really curious about how much those are worth for sure. Um, I think for the most part, that's really what I wanted to cover. Is there anything that in particular that you were thinking of?
No, this is all you.
Yeah, yeah,
I This time on the podcast, I don't have
yeah.
questions or,
Hey,
or
yeah. The
topics.
last time, the last time you guys on the last time I had John B, he had like a little list of like shit that we needed to go over. I don't even think we got to some
We
of
didn't
it.
go
We didn't
over
go.
everything.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
didn't go
it's too
over all of
long.
it. Yeah.
I'm like, we're good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I will say, um, yeah, it's interesting to see what's gonna happen with the whole vaccine and like how that whole thing is gonna play out. Like as far as getting it, but also what that's gonna mean for us.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't mean you have to get one to travel and all that type of stuff
Yeah,
because I'll be bootlegging one. I won't get one.
you gonna put some water.
Nah, I'm just being honest. I won't take it.
Yeah,
I don't trust anything that the government does. I am one with my body and I control what goes in it.
got you. Your body's a temple.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I've been thinking about it, and I'm like on the fence about it. I think I would take it though. I think for me, it's more in like one of the big things I would say at least is like this whole notion of like not being able to see my parents. Like, you know, we didn't get to do Thanksgiving. Um, this Christmas, like we usually do tamales every December. We do tamales as a family. We're not doing that this year. You know, so and I'm really being like kind of the voice of reason for my family, where I'm like, no, like it's I don't think it's right. You know, and not to not get too political about it, but I
Yeah.
personally I just don't want it. My dad has a compromised immune system. My mom is like 68. You know, so it's just I don't like I love
No, it makes sense.
and
It's scary.
I love I love I really do love my family time and like honestly those are like the highlight moments of my year is really getting to hang out with my family. But you know I can skip I can live with skipping Thanksgiving and Tamale Day for the or not putting my parents at risk. You know,
Hmm.
so this Thanksgiving I just stayed home and luckily my neighbor actually made dinner for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks, but I mean, everyone's got to do what they got to do
Right,
and what they feel is right.
right. All right, man. Well, I think that's it. You want to give out any last minute any additional advice as far as Twitch goes or anything like that? And if not, then you know anybody who's still in here or listening for the later on for when I put it on Spotify, um, make sure you follow DJ Jon B on Twitch and all social media, man. Like this dude's awesome. Like I really can't stress enough how like how grateful and thankful I am for everything that you do, man. Like you really have helped me out a lot. Like not only with this, but even like in real life and just like everything, dude. Like you really
Oh,
you
I didn't know that.
you mean a lot, bro. Like I really appreciate
Well, I
you.
appreciate that.
I appreciate you, and especially like um to anyone looking to talk to this dude, it's like I feel like I'm a little bit in the younger generation of like DJs. Like you've been DJing longer than me, but you've never gave me the cold shoulder, bro. Like you've always been open arms and just like I'll help you in any way possible. I know you're busy, but you'll still try to find a way to help me out.
Yeah, for sure. It's all about giving back. That's what I try to do. Like, you know, you know, just got to give back. This is how it is, especially right now.
Yeah.
Got to help each other out. And as far as other stuff, I don't know. Brenda's right here. Let me ask her. She's usually the one that knows everything that I
B40.
miss. Brenda, is there anything that I need to go over? Okay, she said it's important to not let your ego get in the way, and if you need help, ask for the help,
Mm,
which is correct. You should
yes.
ask for help. If you need help, ask for help.
Yeah.
You never know. All anyone can say is no.
You know what?
And don't wait around. If you want to do something, just do it. If it's Twitch, if it's something else in life, just do it.
And I think with the helping thing, uh I think oh fuck, I lost my train of thought, but I was just gonna say like how people they a lot of times they don't even mind helping, like they want to help you, like especially your good friends. Like a lot of times they want to help you because maybe you actually you know I feel like like in this sense of like you're like a snowflake. I mean I feel like as corny as that sounds, but like you're something special, and if your friends really value that, then they would really want to help you. Like I said, they want to support you. Like
Yeah.
for instance, like um my friend Alize, like I love talking about his podcast because he does a podcast too that he does like all new music, and I'll like kind of twist that dude's arm like, hey bro, like when are you gonna get on Twitch and when are you gonna do this, because like I'm a fan, I'm truly a fan, and we want to help, like you said, when we can.
Yeah, for sure. Like for me, here's something I need help with. If anyone knows where I can get good printing, like on like dope merch, like stuff like this with multiple colors, because I got to get my merch done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm testing out a spot right now. I got to wait till next week till it comes in. I gave him a few examples, 4 different shirts,
Right.
but I need it to come out like like dope. If anyone's seen like the Big Sean merch drop that he did, like I'm doing some shit like that.
Okay.
So I need special printing, screen printing can't like so, there's so many colors and so many different layers and stuff that I want to do, but I can't just take it back down to the mom and pop shop that does like the local sports teams that only deal with a few colors. Like
So
I need to find someone that like prints like merch,
so
like concert merch.
so actually, so with that, maybe and like you said, like maybe it's all about putting it out there. So, have you looked into like working with like Shopify and Printful? Have you looked into that avenue?
Which like selling myself on Shopify
No, well,
or
Printful as well.
uh no, but I know there's spots like T Public and stuff like that, but I don't like the printing. That's the key. Kind of like you how we were talking about with sound.
Right.
I need that
Like
print to
very
be like
particular.
I'm very particular.
Okay.
Like that's why I'm saying I when my merch comes out, I want it to be like, yo, I can I could buy this at a concert or I can buy this at um I don't know, like a special drop, like a Yeezy drop or a
Yeah.
Travis Scott drop
Yeah.
or something
Yeah.
like that type of quality.
Okay.
I know where to get the shirts. I just want to know where I can like print certain things
Okay.
because like I don't know if you saw like I did redid the death row things
Yeah.
with the DJ, my name. I got lightning bolts going out, like different colors. I just like my shit's just out
I
there,
seen
you
it.
know.
Yeah, I definitely seen it. And
Yeah. Then like the other stuff I have, I'm gonna have like flames on the sleeves, like just crazy type stuff.
right.
So like I need special type of printing, and I know the different kinds, but I'm not too confident. But let's just hope and pray like my this comes out good. We'll see.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and I will. I mean, just while we're here, just say too, like, um, with Printful, a little. This is a little promo for Printful and Shopify, but like, so those things have like they have a little collaboration type of thing going on, and I've gotten some gear from Printful. So pretty much, Printful has like a little like creator, and they have a bunch of products there. So they have like long sleeves, they have t-shirts, they have cups, they have all this shit. And it's the cool thing about utilizing those things is that they print they don't require you to buy in bulk. So you can buy individual items, and then they handle all the shipping as well, you know.
okay,
So
that's a good thing.
yeah, so it's pretty cool. So I mean, so pretty much what you would do is you pay $30 a month as a subscription fee, but the 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 big thing with it is that, so for one, like they'll tell you like the cost of it. So let's just say like you submit your image, and then to get it on this graphic or to get it on this T-shirt, let's just say it's like $15, right? Like that's like the actual like the minimum that it's gonna cost. The fuck, I can't even think of what the word's called, but that's the cost of it, right? So then you get to pick your upsell price. So whether you want it to be like a $5 profit margin, or you could do it at a $25, or it's $10 profit margin, whatever. You get to set that, and like I said, it's very convenient in the sense that like, um, you can put it like you can embed it like on your website, and it looks like it's like your little store, and and it's cool if you don't if you're a busy person, like you don't have to deal with the whole like shipping and figuring out all that shit. It
You
doesn't.
could you could all sorry, you could also do that on Streamlabs.
Oh
Did you know that?
no, I didn't.
Yeah, I saw that the other day.
And then
I haven't really dove into it,
oh
but
did you?
sorry.
I was say, did you get anything print? You say you haven't got anything printed from them.
I took it in. I should be getting it. I got like four shirts that are printing. It's I did direct to garment. The only thing I'm worried about is direct to garment is like when you do direct to garment, you get like a square, but it should like because they print, you get your color, but you still get like a clear square on top of the shirt,
Mm-hmm.
which should fade away. They said, and I don't know if it's a pop like screen printing. So like this is screen printing right here,
Mm-hmm.
and it pops.
Right.
Like I need it to pop, and there's I don't know. Well, it's a lot of stuff.
All right.
I'm very picky.
All right.
I basically want to do a like my have quality of like Travis Scott, Yeezy, Warren Lotus, like
Right.
Off White, like all the big brands.
Right.
I know I'm like dreaming big, but that's how
Nah,
I am.
nah.
Like
I mean,
that's how I am. Because I have other merch that I work on that's not even my name. Like, I have some bootleg stuff that I want to put out. Basically, like rap tees. Like I made like Von Kiss and Angie their own rap tees.
right.
I made Angie a NASCAR style one that I want to print out, and then Von Kiss has a rap tee, and then this stuff like that. But I need like that quality printing that makes all these different colors pop,
Right.
just like you would see like at Urban Outfitters, like on their rap tees or
Right.
whatever.
Right. Right. All right.
So
Well, I mean,
that's it.
hey, hopefully, hey, maybe somebody will reach out. Then somebody in the chat, maybe somebody, one of my listeners. Any, you never know. It's like
Yeah,
you never know who's listening. For sure.
you never know until you ask,
Yeah.
right?
Right. All right, man. Well, go ahead and throw out any of your social media stuff that you want people to follow on, and then we'll conclude this thing, man.
Twitch.tv DJ JONB. So Twitch.tv DJ Jon B. Instagram DJ underscore JONB. And then if you want to follow anything else, just go to djjohnb.com. That's it. It's got all the links to everything. SoundCloud, Mixcloud, YouTube, whatever.
And what's your schedule? Go ahead and announce your schedule.
I like to leave it open except for Sundays. Sundays I work around the Raider games because I'm a big Raider fan.
Right.
So like this Sunday, I'll be on probably at 3 p.m. Go to 6. Depends. So if they played at 1 o'clock, I would go on at 4 o'clock when they're done.
Right.
But every Sundays, old school Sundays, that's the big day. That's my big day where we play nothing but old school, from funk, 80s R&B, a little bit of Motown, some oldies, some throwback hip hop, a lot of freestyle,
Right.
and yeah, just everything under the old school realm. And then I'll pop up and do stuff like today and do like throwbacks, 90s, 2000s. There's other days I want to work on, but I got a lot of stuff going on over here
Right.
that I have to finish so I can focus on it. But I'm going to do like a night called Turn Off the Lights where I play nothing but like throwback, like Keith Sweat, like slow jams like that.
Oh, okay.
But I want to do a music video version of it.
Right.
So get all the old music videos, like some Drew Hill.
Some how deep is your
Some
love?
80s. Huh?
I said how deep is your love?
Yeah,
Fucking,
not. I would say there's slower stuff.
uh,
Um, but like all the slow stuff
right. Right.
and yeah, the baby making music, and then
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do like that, like a little snippet at the end of, like, how I do my make it last, like the R&B stuff. So I
yeah,
wanted to do that for like the last 30 minutes because I do more like club R&B, but the last
yeah,
30 minutes I wanted to do that too, where I do like, all right, this is the fucking like, it's about to
wind it
go
down.
down.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, do it because I mean, you got the condom logo. Might as well.
Hey, dog.
It, it works.
Yeah, man. All right,
But yeah,
guys.
I mean,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, I was thinking of like doing like a oh snap Ray party or something like that. Like just get
Mm.
my events that I
Yeah,
did in
that'd be dope.
person and
That'd be dope.
put them into play onto Twitch
Yeah.
and do that. But other than that, yeah, I'll just pop up here and there. But I'll usually advertise it sooner than I did today.
Right. All right, man. Well, thank you guys once again. Everybody that showed some love today. Everybody that's still in the chat, and everybody that will listen to this over whatever streaming platform. We really appreciate you, and like I said, thank you, John. I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Wally. Peace out.
All
I'll
right.
see you at
Peace out.
Guacamole's this weekend.
I'm gonna end this thing.